too. So, hey, everybody. Welcome to Pink Shade. It is Tuesday. It's TLC Tuesday. And I just got caught there on a hot mic. Hot mic. Hot mic. Doesn't that remind you of
like a Bobby
and-
Durst confessing
no.
a murder?
Oh, killed them all, of course. No, it reminds me of Anna Gasteyer and Will Ferrell doing the music teachers. Hot mic. Ooh,
hot mic.
mic.
I love them.
Kimberly, how are you?
I'm so sleepy, but I'm excited to be here as always.
You better get some of those Viter Energy mints that you told me to get, or you sent me some.
Not sponsored, but
No.
I love them. I just ordered a new variety pack and left them an Amazon review because
really
know that I really like them.
Wow. Did you tell them that you're a micro influencer and you could really up their brand?
I don't know how to do that. So
go on their website, and in the contact section, it might say like press inquiries or something.
Okay.
Or contact them on Instagram.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because that's how we got our lipsies, everybody.
I love, and they sent me some stuff, and I'm so excited.
Show your lipsy on the camera. I see it.
Katie saw me using one. And she was like, what is that? What is that? And I was like, okay, I'll hook you up.
Okay.
So now I got to send her some of mine.
Okay, you guys, the Lipsies, Lipzi. It is on my Amazon list, which you can find on the website. But if you just want to go look for them, go look for them. Lipzi.
So good.
So good. We love that company. And they sent us some. And I am going to my Botox lady tomorrow. And she's got like a zillion, literally like hundreds of thousands of people on Instagram and stuff. And she teaches about injection. And she has like a whole Patreon where she teaches about injection. She's like a big deal injector. And I'm taking her some lipsies tomorrow.
She might not like the lipsies because it will lower her cost. It's like dentists not liking
what?
Sugar-free candy. I don't know.
Well, no, I think anything damage done in my lip area is way already past. It's just going to help not make it worse, I think, is the issue that I'm having. Okay, now we have several things to talk about. At the top, I want to say, you guys, do you guys know about Apple subscriptions? Did you guys know that here, this podcast is on Apple subscriptions? Is A Date with Dateline on Apple subscriptions?
It's been on my to-do list for 4 years.
Yeah.
And it hasn't gotten done yet.
Okay.
If anyone, can you send Ingrid over?
No, you could call Kristen or you could call Ingrid. They know how to do it. So we're on Apple subscriptions, and I met with them when I was at Podcast Movement. And I just want to promote them because, I, as everybody here knows, I'm a Apple only gal. So Apple subscriptions is very easy because it's already, if you're listening in the Apple podcast, it's right there. If you're not listening in the Apple podcast, doesn't apply to you. Go to Patreon, go to Supercast. I don't care, but that's how you get it. That's one thing I want to talk about. Then producer Ingrid, speaking of, because she comes back from these conferences just revitalized with her tech nerd knowledge.
Yeah.
So she has put out a survey to the listeners, and she's asking them like what app they listen in, what episodes do they listen to the most? Do they listen like at home or in their car? Do they have a certain time of day they listen? I don't really know. I'm not filling it out because why I might, but
which co-host they find the most annoying,
which co-host they hate the most, and that person's going to immediately
be like me. They're just going to get cut from the island.
Yeah, that's really what I'm trying to tell you. This is your last day.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it has anything to do with that. So anyway, if you guys want to have your voice heard, fill out that survey. It is in the show notes. I think it's also like in the link tree on Instagram. I think she sent out an email about it to the people that subscribe to the newsletter. Okay, those are our orders of business. Now,
wait, I have orders of business.
Okay, I'm ready. Okay, go.
I was listening to you and Keisha catching up on Love After Lockup. She said you had something on your phone that she told you to take off because it was really embarrassing.
Yeah, you want to see it?
Seem. What was it?
Okay, all right, so if you're watching on video, I just pulled this is my mini laptop that's old, but I like to travel with it because it's so light.
Yeah.
So I stuck the thing that she told me about on my laptop. So what it is, if you ever watch Shark Tank or if you ever have gone anywhere, you see those sponges that are called Scrub Daddy. They're
Yes.
sponges, but they have like the holes, the smiley face. Well, they've got
Mhm.
all sorts of products now. Like they've really
Yeah.
expanded. So they had a thing called Screen Mommy, and you stick it on your phone. Let me throw this computer over there to the side. And so I'm showing it guys on the video. You stick it on your phone. It's called Screen Mommy.
Uh-huh.
So it just sticks on the back of your phone because it's sticky, and then you just pick
Yep.
it up and then you wipe,
Oh,
and then you stick it
okay.
back on your phone. Well, I'm gonna stick it back
She
on
did
that
not
movie.
like that.
Oh, no, no, no. Guys, you're listening from
I
way
know.
back.
Well, because I just finished last season, and so I needed to hear what you guys thought. That's how far behind
Okay.
I was.
You're
Yeah.
behind. Okay, yeah, so this is what it is. It's called Screen Mommy, and I got my whole family some of these for Christmas, and I thought it was so amazing, and Keisha's like, "Never again, take that off. You're embarrassing yourself, and you look like an old lady." So I did what she said immediately. I was so horrified. I
Uh,
thought it was cute.
and then the second question I had was one of the women on the show was making a sandwich for her dad, and you guys were
Mm,
laughing so hard. And
mhm,
I watched that scene, and I did
mm.
not know what was supposed to be wrong with that sandwich.
It wasn't what was wrong with the sandwich. The
Okay, because
the
what were you
dad has
laughing
the
at?
dad has no teeth.
That's I should have known.
Yeah, the dad
I
had
should have
0 teeth.
I shoulda and I don't know how he's eating that sandwich. I should have known that that's what you were laughing at. Okay, thank you.
We were crying because I
I
said I don't remember what I said, but I was like, and so she starts making the dad a sandwich, and then I looked at Keisha, and she's like, "Girl."
I know, and then you didn't say what it was, and I was like,
We
"What
were
are
crying.
you having?"
We were
I was
crying
like,
laughing.
"She put cheese on it, she put some meat
No.
on it, she
Mhm,
put" I was like, literally in my mind, what was wrong with that sandwich?
mhm. Yeah, it was the fact that how was he going to eat that? It was hard
Oh.
bread, it was hard bread. Um, okay, well, you thank you for going to listen to back episodes, that's nice, that'll help my algorithm, I guess, I don't know. But the most important thing that we have to talk about is that Kimberly this past weekend did win favorite co-host title, and do you remember why?
Oh, yes, of course I do. Yeah. I
I
mean,
called
it's
I
yeah.
called Amy Archer, who was at the conference with me, to tell her that
Mhm.
my 3-item bucket list, one of my items had been checked off, and I asked her what it was. She couldn't remember. So then I gave her hints and said, I met somebody that I've always wanted to meet. And she's like, Billie Eilish. I go, yeah, Billie Eilish
It's a
was at
podcast
the
movement.
was at Podcast Movement at the ping pong place in Chicago. Yeah. No. And so I literally was like, "You're no good to me," and I hung up on her. But she said she had had wine and she couldn't think straight. So then I called you and you won. You won the prize. You won the
Mhm.
prize. Um,
In
it
front
was
of Maddie too, like, Maddie heard me, and that was exciting.
yeah, Matt was
I'm
there.
always looking to have Matt and Jake know how cool I am,
Oh,
and
okay.
then Ingrid was impressed as well, and
Mhm.
I like to impress Ingrid, so I
She
was
started
pretty happy.
crying because she wasn't with us. So when we got home, the picture had been sent to her, and she's in her hotel room, like, screaming, like, "I can't believe I didn't come to this party." So we got home from the party. She came down in her pajamas with a half-drunk bottle of Prosecco. I guess she had drunk the other half alone, I don't know. And we, like, poured it into hotel cups, and we cheered, and she cried, and I had already cried, and, that's hard for me. And, yeah, I met Karen Kilgariff, everybody. The one of 3 things on my bucket list of my life.
Of her life, people.
Not just me, of my life. All I've ever wanted
Of
to
her
do,
life.
meet her, interview her, pick her brain, force her to be my friend. Now, I know that part's not gonna happen, but,
I think it could. Um, I did send you we were talking about how you were gonna explore this in the coolest way possible, so you
I
wouldn't come off as a total fangirl.
uh-huh.
You were gonna write her that night at, like, 3 AM.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I didn't do it.
Ingrid was trying to talk you out of that, which I
Mhm.
think was wise.
Yeah, I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
Um, yeah, I did send you a little article, um, and you laughed, but I don't know if you knew why I was sending it to you. It was Chris Hemsworth says he regrets taking a photo with Billie Eilish at the Grammys or Emmys or whatever.
Okay.
And
I saw you
the
sent that to me, and I thought it was about Billie Eilish, and I was like, "Okay, but now I get what you're saying." Okay.
so I if it makes it sound like he hates her or she smelled bad or something, but
Mm,
no. You open it up, he said, "I wanna be best friends with her. Like, I
mm,
want to be best friends with Billie Eilish, but because now I took a photo with her, I am
mhm.
now in fan territory, and we can never be friends." And this is Chris Hemsworth.
Right. I think a lot of people feel that way about Billie Eilish, but, I could not be friends with her because I am the age of her mother, so that's weird, but,
But you
you
see what I'm saying?
yes,
You
yes,
you might have shot yourself in the foot, but
right.
not not yet with Karen. I still think because you're in the same field,
Mhm.
you could become best friends with her. I still think it's a possibility. You just have to play it right.
I don't know how to play it right, guys. I really don't. I haven't sent the email. I mean, I told you, like, I paid Kristen to make me an entire pitch deck aimed towards Karen Kilgariff.
Yeah,
And so I
that's
have a pitch deck that's just aimed towards her. And I don't know how to go about it. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should title the email I met Karen and
right.
that'll get somebody to open it. Like, how do you get somebody to open it? Because I've sent emails in the past and they talk a lot on their podcast about like, oh, here's an email that's from 2021. Okay, I'm sure this is timely. I mean,
Yeah.
like
Uh-huh.
they get so many millions of emails. And I think they have a bigger network now and probably have more people to sift through it. But I don't know. Maybe I should put my
But didn't she
hometown is I
say
met Karen. Yeah.
we're friends now?
Yes, but she was just being nice, Kimberly.
But still, she said it.
She didn't
Maybe
mean it.
it could be like a verbal contract, and
No,
now
it's
she has to
not.
be friends with you.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think she was just being gracious and trying to get away from me. Um,
No,
yeah.
because when Matt said how it went, because he was observing, he
Mhm.
said it went well. He did put a pause in between "went" and "well,"
He did. He's
which
right.
made me a little concerned.
It was, I'll tell the story, okay? Because Amy and I were talking this weekend, and I said, "You don't get the story because you failed the friendship test. I'm saving the story for Kimberly." So, here's the story. We were
Even though
at
I already heard it.
you have to hear it again.
Oh, okay, I'm so excited.
Okay, all right, drink with your Lipsy and be quiet. So,
Mhm.
um, we were at this iHeart party. So we had been to this big Spotify party, guys, that was like a fancy wedding. It was so fancy. And then we were like, should we go to the iHeart party? I don't know. Maybe we'll go. And if it's lame, we'll leave because it was later. So I thought maybe it had been cooler early or whatever. It was in this huge, like 2-level ping pong place that was super cool. I mean, if you like, anyway, it had games and stuff. It's stuff to do, which is nice. And
Yeah,
so we go in the front. Hey, what's it going? We immediately steal a pen because everywhere we went, we are just taking pens. I don't know why.
yeah,
And we took a pen and went down to where the most of the people were, and we went over to this bar, and it was beer and wine only. So Matt starts talking to this guy, and I'm like, "I don't want beer or wine. I think I'll go to the other bar." Literally, my stomach just flipped when I just said that part. My
yeah,
stomach just flipped, just telling you.
yeah,
So Matt's talking to some guy. I said, "I don't want beer or wine." So I turn around to walk to the other bar, which was behind me, which was up on a little bit of a riser. So I turn around and walk, and I took 2 steps towards that riser, and my stomach is flipping again. And I saw her standing there. And I turned around in sheer horror and went up to Matt and started pulling his arm, going, "Matt, Matt, 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 Matt." And he's like, he's like, "I'm trying to talk to this guy." And I was like, "Oh my God. Oh my
you
God."
interrupted.
I was I was being so weird and I can't even explain it. I was just being so weird. I just couldn't
Yeah.
get my words together. I couldn't even explain it to him. And I was like, "It's Karen Kilgariff over there." He goes, "Who? What?" I go, "My favorite murder." And he was like, "Oh." So when I said my favorite murder, then he knew what I was. Because he didn't recognize her name, he just recognized the show. So then we're like, I wonder why she's here. Um, she's a huge deal in the podcasting
Yeah,
world. Like, why would she just be at this party? You know?
yeah.
So, and not even in like a private room for like the upper
Right,
ups in the podcasting world. She's just there with
right,
our unwashed masses. So
right.
um Matt pulls me over there and he can do a reenactment for you. But he said I attuned it to in 16 Candles when the parents shove him in the door to go to prom, and then they
Yeah.
close the door behind him, and he's going, "I wanna stay home with you guys!" And they're forcing him to go to prom.
That just turned my stomach because I remember that scene, and that
That's how
makes
I
me
felt.
so sad.
And he was pulling my arm, and I was pulling away. I was, like, trying to run away because she was talking to somebody, and I was like, I don't want him to interrupt because then that's" you know? Um, so we did. He's like, "Excuse me, um, I don't listen to your show." I was like, "Oh god." That was his opening. He goes, "'Cause I get too scared to listen to murder stuff," and she goes,
Yeah.
"That's fair." And he
Uh-huh.
goes, "But my friend over here is a" he said something like, "She's a big fan, she's been listening for a long time. You're the only reason she became a podcaster, and now she has a huge podcast. Here she is."
That was
Which
good.
I
Okay.
know, but to say I have
Good
a
job,
huge
Matt.
podcast is sort of overselling.
She doesn't need to know the numbers.
I mean, I was like, "Oh, no." So, anyway, I was like, "Hi." And then I acted really weird for about 5 minutes and just literally just blah, 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 like we've talked about, like, when you talk too much because 'cause you're nervous and then you walk away and you know that people think that you're like a weirdo that talks too much.
Yeah.
That's what happened because that's what I
Yes.
do.
Mhm.
And, I was saying things to her like, "Oh my god, I was just talking today about how podcasts have changed our lives, and I remember when you guys got your first commercial." She was like, "Wow, really?" I was like, "Yeah. Is that a weird thing to say?" So then finally, I was like, "And here's my card," because I have cards like a real old lady, Kimberly. I
That
handed
what
her
did I say to you? I said, "You have cards? How old are
business
you?"
cards. I handed
They're
it to
cute,
her.
though. They're really cute.
Yeah, they're cute, and I keep a bunch in my purse in case anybody ever asks me about the podcast, and then I just go, "Just that's it. Just go
That's
listen
smart.
there." So, anyway, she took it and she goes, "Okay, great, thanks." And I said, "Well, just like my dream of my life is to have you on my show to interview. I used to have a podcast where I only interviewed podcasters. I got some really good people, but I never got you, and I still do it. I would love to talk to you sometime." And um, I recently met Stephen Ray Morris, your former producer, and so I kind of felt like we were one step closer. Her facial expression didn't change when I said that, so I didn't know, like, yes, that's the way in. No, that's not the way in. Unclear. I name dropped some other people that she knew. Also, facial expression didn't change, but I know she's friends with them. Maybe that's just the way. She was like, "Get on with it. Get away from me." So, um, anyway, I just died. I died. It was a dream come true. She was lovely. She was nice. She was normal. I definitely talked too much and freaked her out. But then when she walked away, because I was like, "Can we get a picture?" And she was like, "Of course." And then I felt so weird, like to touch her, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
I didn't want to be
Yes,
like, "I'm
very
touching
awkward.
you," like
Yeah.
that's inappropriate, like, and you're
Yeah.
touching me, and
Yeah.
um, I literally had my hand behind her, but didn't touch her back
Yeah.
because I was
Just
like, I
it
don't
was
want her.
hovering.
Mhm. I just didn't want to be weird. I thought the pictures turned out great though, so I was happy about that.
Oh, good.
And, that's it, you guys. As we walked off, I said, "Well, I'm just really sorry that I talked too much and acted weird, but this is like, you know how it gets when you meet somebody." And she goes, "Well, we're friends now, so that's fine." And
See?
Matt, like,
Verbal
did that.
contract.
Yeah, Matt did that thing where, like, he kicks your knee to, like, make you fall. I was like, "Great, Matt." Now I almost fell in front of her. I was like, "Okay, have a good night. Bye-bye." And then I turned so then somebody else wanted to talk to her, like another, person, a fan, and I, turned to Matt, and he could tell I was about to cry. He goes, "Okay, let's talk about something. How are your kids? What do you think John's doing right now?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah." Yeah, yeah, and then the one of the girls that also had been standing around kinda wanting to talk to her sent me the video of when I met her.
Oh my god.
She took a video of me trying to walk away and Matt pulling me over there. So, all
I
of
said
that.
I
Yeah.
said put it together in, like, a video montage to slow m music with hearts, googly eye hearts over your eyes, but that might be too much.
Yeah, the
Like,
hearts might be overkill, but the I could see if Kristen could put that together for me to make it like the day I met my hero. Is that too much?
yeah.
Too much?
No, well, you could put it to the song "Hero, Will You Be My Hero?" or,
Did you ever know that you're
yeah,
my
yeah, something
hero?
yeah, "Wind Beneath My Wings." Love
Uh-huh.
it.
I told her, I go, "I have your word art in my office, and I don't even like word art," which is true. I do. I have it right over there. I have "Stay sexy, don't get murdered," and "Here's the thing, fuck everybody," because that's what she said one time, and they made merch out of it.
I love it.
I've got that over here, and I've got my, Dorinda, "I tell you how I'm doing, not well, bitch." And then I have Sutton. Name them, name them, name them. Yeah. That's from an Etsy shop. I found that. That's it. So I just got very excited and my stomach did flips and I got a little nauseous telling you about it. So that just shows you the weirdo.
Everyone's going to be so excited for you.
I know, you guys, it happened. And the craziest thing too, this is the last thing, I put on Instagram, like before I went to bed, like something huge happened to me tonight, something that's been on my bucket list. Can you guess what it is? And when I tell you 20 people wrote and said, I bet you got to meet Karen Kilgariff. At least. At least. And then the next day when I posted it, like 20 different people wrote and said, this has been your dream. I'm so happy for you.
Oh.
To which I said, Amy Archer's not really a listener because she didn't know.
I know. F. Amy Archer. I always knew there was something off about that lady. People say she sounds like me. I don't hear it. I think she's just a weirdo. She's a pod person.
No.
I don't think she's even real.
She's wonderful, but she did fail me in my time of need, but that's okay. We were going to invite her to come to the room and have Prosecco, but no.
No, she access barred at the door.
Plus, we only had that half a bottle that Ingrid had drank.
Yeah.
So it was really just a couple of sips for all of us, but it was okay. We still toasted with it. Oh my God. Well, those are all the things on my list. Do you have any other items to discuss?
No, I got nothing. Let's do this.
Let's do it. I got to write a note here. Recap,
also, love you, Amy Archer. Just kidding.
Just kidding. Okay. 90 Day Fiance, season 11, episode 8, Love, Sweat, and Tears. So Shekinah and Sarper. Oh God. Okay.
Yeah, you must be right. It must be the gym because I cannot think of anyone else that was sweating.
By the way, lots of our bunkies are going to Sarper's workout class because he posted about it. Yeah, lots of people wrote, I'm going. I signed up. It's $30.
We're in LA?
In LA. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. So it's 84.
How big a space does he have? How big is he? We don't even know. How many followers did he have? A lot? Like 100,000?
I don't know.
Anyway.
I hope you didn't hear that. I just burped. Okay, 84 days to wed. She's making smoothies. He says last night was great, except for Dan. Dan pushed the button nonstop. And he says, also I hate how Dan says my name. And we get a montage of Sarper, Sarper, Sarper. And Sarper goes, he's like French bulldog to German shepherd. And he says he understands that unfortunately Dan is a part of the friend group, but if he does it again, it's the last time he will see modern Sarper. And in the talking head, he explains he hates this new version of himself. He hates modern Sarper, but he understands that it has to happen. And she goes, I love modern Sarper. I love him. I guess this is
supposed to be. Do we think he's actually like gotten into a fist fight in the past?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Even with his moneymaker not wanting to get hit in the face, I would assume.
I do think because we've seen how he can really like flip and be such a jerk and everything.
But even at the reunions, like he's never stood up to anybody.
Well, he didn't want to lose his paycheck.
Well, freaking Rob stood up to a pregnant lady.
Oh, Rob, get the fuck out of here. All right. So, okay. So she says, you know, you need to meet Sophie. And Sophie's heard so many negative things. And then we see lots of photos of Sophie and Shekinah together. And we see a lot of Shekinah's past faces there. And
you know, I was thinking it must be really hard for the daughter to see her mom's face change. Especially when you look like your mom and all your mom is trying to do is change her face.
Right.
Like Darcy's daughters. That has to.
Right. That has to hurt a little. Yeah. We'll be talking about that a little bit too on the Baldwins. Also out today, Tuesday, $10 Pink Shade Prime. Okay. So he says, let's go to the bed. I won't be modern there. Caveman is there. Caveman is coming. Jeez. Oh, God. All right. They got upstairs. Okay. Now, so when that episode, 84 Days to Wed, now we're at 73 Days to Wed.
Wow.
They jumped ahead. So they land in San Jose, California, where her daughter goes to boarding school. And she brought Sarper with her, even though Sophie has not agreed to meet him yet. which, by the way, Sophie knows the cameras are there, so she's probably figured out what's up.
Mm-hmm.
She says she won't walk down the aisle without her daughter's approval. It means everything to her. So in the car they're driving, and he says, are you nervous? What is Sophie's opinion of me? And she goes, well, I think it's unfortunately based on what my family says. And we're reminded that he said to Shekinah in front of her sister, you are acting like a slut bitch in front of her sister. So, okay. Not great. Not great. So he says, I was asshole, but that's old me. This is new, modern Sarper. I'm different now. And I
New
wish,
taste, less filling.
he says, I wish Sophie didn't know about this, so I am starting with -1. It's true. That's a great analogy.
I think -17.
Well, all right. So in the car, she goes, look, Sophie could say she's not ready to meet you. And that's scary because we do have this 90-day timeline. And she goes, I'm hoping that, when I see her today or whatever, we're going to get some clarity. And so they go to the rental house. As they walk up, she's like, look at this great house, babe. And he goes, give me the bags. I'm bad boy turned into bellboy. He loves to talk about I am asshole, I am bad boy.
I know.
And he says, look at the beauty of this place, and we can interrogate the meaning of life here. All right. So he's so happy that he's going to have like space to walk around because her apartment is so
They could
tiny.
move there. There are people who need fillers up there too.
San Jose, they also need Botox. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the talking head, she says, I've invited Sophie many times to meet him, and I need to just convince her, like give him a chance, like don't listen to my sister, like get your opinion for yourself. So she changes and she heads off to see Sophie. They meet at a nail salon to get pedicure. Sophie is so cute.
Mm-hmm.
So cute and seems pretty normal. And we've met her before where she was like, yeah, my mom has terrible taste in guys. So I'm glad I'm at boarding school. I have to see this bullshit.
Yeah.
So she tells Sophie about Sarper see, I can't now. I've got this screen mommy and now I can't stop playing with it. I got to put it somewhere where I'm not going to mess with it. Okay. Screen mommy, not an ad. So she says, Sarper is in the US now. And it's been fun because I get to show him all the little things that like we take for granted that are brand new to him. It's fun to like see the culture. Now, meanwhile, we flip over to Sarper. He's walking along the beach. He sees all the sea lions, which sea lions are really cool just to randomly see them.
Yeah.
And he goes,
and there's dozens and dozens of them.
And they smell.
Yeah.
He's excited. He goes, look at them. They're so cute. Honk, honk. Oh, hello, sea lion. Honk, honk. Yes, this is like me and Shekinah with our mating dances and calls. Oh, they're so cute. I want to pet them. But no, they bite me. They bite Sarper. So
now that's how I'm picturing they do it. Just like flopping around on top of each other, going honk, honk. As he squeezes her boobies.
Oh, God. He goes, let's do it. Do it like they do on the Animal Channel. Isn't that song? Baby, let's wait. Baby, you and me ain't nothing but an animal. Let's do it like they do on the Animal Channel. Remember that song?
Discovery Channel. Discovery Channel.
Baby, you and me, we ain't nothing but animals. Let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel. Yeah, that makes sense.
There are some bad songs out there.
I remember that song. So back at the salon, she tells Sophie, the biggest thing is for me to find out, like, if you like Sarper, and you got to meet him sooner than later. Lucky you, he's only 5 minutes away. And Sophie's like, look, he's a big part of your life, and so am I. So yeah, we have to meet, and I'm going to be open to it. She's like, the two of you are going to have your own relationship. And basically she says, like, if you guys don't get along, that'll be it for me. We see Sophie outside in the talking head. She goes, my mom's past relationships have never worked out, and the guys she's chosen have not been the best. And I was kind of involved in it when I was young. I had to go through it with her, and I didn't want this to happen again with Sarper. So I put, basically I don't want to meet him because what if it doesn't work out like it has with all these other guys, So back at the salon, Sophie tells her mom, look, I'm happy to meet him. I am, but I'm not going to act like everything's perfect off the bat. Like, what if it's not? And she kind of goes, don't censor yourself. Say whatever you're thinking. If you think whatever way he's being, if you don't like the way he's treating me, I need you to say everything. And she goes, okay, I will. But what if we don't get along? And she kind of goes, if you don't get along with him, I would not marry him. In the talking head, she says,
we both made the same.
We both go,
we're skeptical. I
Yeah,
wanna believe you,
we
Shekinah.
want to. And they're talking it, she goes, I would choose my daughter over love, and in the past, I wish I would have chosen my daughter over love many times. This poor child is scarred.
I know, that's
Yeah,
all I could think is this poor child.
yeah,
Happy Shekinah is admitting that she has not been, the best mom in the past
mhm,
and has sent her daughter away at boarding school probably because she had some stepdad who she hated because
uh-huh,
he was a dick.
mhm, mhm, all that. Yeah, it's worrisome. It
Also,
is worrisome.
random question about those blankets at the manicure place that they were putting on their laps. Do they wash those, like, in between people coming?
I don't know. So at my place, if you're wearing shorts or a short skirt and you get in the pedicure show, they'll give you like a towel to cover your legs so that you're not so you're not uncomfortable and also you're not flashing the lady.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know
Okay.
about the blankets, and the answer probably is no. I mean, they might wash them at the end of the day, but not between people, no.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Hmm,
Yeah.
interesting.
Okay, let's move on to Mark and Mina, who are on Bald Head Island, which is where I was last weekend. And I did do some inquiring, and I will be finding out more. I'll just put it that way. Okay.
I'm so excited.
Okay.
So, they've just had this question brought up about the prenup, and
Mhm.
Mina has stormed off. Poor girl looks rough.
She
Um,
is sweating in that
her
heat.
hair is not doing well in that,
Mm-mm.
temperature climate,
Mm-mm.
and her makeup is like she's the final girl in a horror movie. It's just mascara just running down her face. Um,
Totally. Yeah.
Poor girl.
It's funny.
So and Mark with the knee brace is telling the family, "Let's stop ganging up on her." He could have said that when they were ganging up on her, but he's saying it now,
Hmm.
and he's saying, "I love her. We have a daughter together. Like, drop it." And I
And
should
there she
finally
is, and there she goes, the daughter. Her
it,
name is Maria.
yeah,
There she goes. Yeah.
just wandering towards the alligator pit. It's fine. There's a cliff over there, it's totally fine. She's gonna hop on a boat and try to, sail to Paris. So he's like, "I should go check on, Mina." Finally,
Yeah. Right.
go. So he goes over to Mina and she says, "I don't have a problem with your family." Or I no, she says, "I don't have a problem with your contract, with your, like,
Yeah.
the
Prenup.
contract,
Yeah.
but I don't like your family.
When
Everyone is
she
concerned."
says when she says, "I don't like your family," and it just says it across the screen, "I don't like your family," I was like, "Whoa." If I was into
I
the
mean,
meme
can you
making business,
blame
that would
her?
be a good one. Yeah, no, I don't blame her
Yeah.
at all. Yeah.
So she goes, "Everyone is concerned about Jordan's peace. No one's
Mm,
concerned about my peace. I gave up my family. My son is not here with me, like, and
I
they just
know.
attack me. And you didn't say anything." He's like,
Yeah.
"I came over now. I have a knee brace on. So it took me a while to get here." And so Jordan is meanwhile back with the family and she's like, "I feel really badly that she's upset." Do you? No, you don't.
You know what?
Because you
Jordan has a
started
little
it.
face. Jordan has a little face. All her features are in the middle of her face. And I was
And she gives, um can I speak to the manager? Th I don't know if I'm not gonna say what I really think about her.
okay.
I
I just think she's cute. She has a little face, and, I love her little face, and I think that, maybe she was spoiled in the past and had
Yeah,
all her dad's attention to herself,
yeah.
and now she doesn't want to let go of that sweet, sweet aviation money.
The only person on Pillow Talk who
Mhm.
keeps defending Jordan and saying that she would be mad too is
I know you're gonna say
Lauren of Lauren and Alexi.
oh, I thought you were gonna say Veronica, and you're gonna make me send her another text.
No.
Lauren of Lauren and Alexi, huh? Well, her parents aren't divorced, so it's not like she's, like, saying, "I can understand, my parents got divorced, and I
No,
felt that
she's saying,
way."
"I'd be mad too if my dad had a baby with a young woman, and then now what we're gonna have baby at the same time, and it's so weird, and I'm his daughter," and all this stuff. And
Wrong take,
Alexi's like,
Lauren. Wrong take, Lauren.
"Hey,
Mm,
it's not her decision."
yeah.
So Jordan's like, "I feel really badly that she's upset, but I'm upset too." And then the grandma is like, maybe she goes, Grandma, maybe you should go talk to him because my piece is the most important piece out of all of the pieces. I'm the most important piece, and my piece is the most important piece. I'm
Wow.
using piece spelled different ways,
Oh, okay.
homonyms.
Piece of my
So,
piece. Got you.
yeah.
Mhm.
So Grandma goes up to Mina. She's going to play mediator. And she's like, you feel like you're picked on, don't you? She talks to Mina a little bit like she's a baby, but I don't mind it. I think she seems kind of nice. She's like,
Yeah.
you are sad. Is Mina sad? She's like, you feel like you're being picked on, don't you? That's just us being concerned, but it's not against you. Of course
And
it
she
is.
but she hugs her, that was nice.
She hugs her and she's holding her hand and,
Mhm.
like, but of course it's against her. Of course Mina would feel like
Well,
it's against her because it is against her.
it's like as my husband is like, "Oh, what the fuck is this doing on the stairs?" or whatever. I go, "Why are you yelling at me about that?" He'll go, "I'm not yelling at you. I'm just yelling about why is this on the stairs?" I go,
Right,
"But I'm the only one here."
right. So
So it
you're
sounds like
yelling
you're
at me.
yelling at me. He's like, "Oh
Yeah,
my god, I'm just yelling into the
yeah.
ether." But in this
She
case, yes, they are picking on her. Yeah.
They're picking on her, and Grandma says, you left your son to come here, and you feel like everyone is attacking you, and that's
Mhm.
horrible." And, some feelings were hurt.
Mm.
Um, and she's holding Mina's hand. She's like, "Mina, will you talk to Jordan?" And Mina tells us, "Well, Jordan is a snake. She's nice to my face and she stabs me in the
Oh
back,"
god,
which
she's gotta
is
stop.
she has to stop with that word, but also that's true because Jordan said on the boat, "Let's all get along on this boat," and
Yeah.
then drove off as fast as she could in that little golf cart so she could badmouth her to everyone else, and then brought
It's
up
like,
the
"They're coming,
prenup in
they're
front of
coming,
everybody.
they're coming."
They're
Yes,
coming.
yeah,
The French are coming, and
yeah.
she's like Paul Revere, a bitchy Paul Revere. So,
That's
honestly,
funny.
I'm afraid that I'm so relieved that everyone made it off that ferry alive because from what I know from Dateline, 98% of the time there's a boat ride, someone gets murdered. So,
And on Housewives, 98% of the times, if you go on a boat, everybody gets in a fight. Mhm.
mhm.
Yeah.
So Mina agrees to sit down for a peace summit
Mm.
with in Peace Summit Bald Head Island 2024 with Jordan.
Right.
And Jordan comes over and Grandma Nana is saying, I know you both said some things in anger. And Jordan says, yeah, she called me a snake and I'm not letting it go.
Mhm.
And Mina says, okay, maybe it was a bad translation in French.
I think snake is universal.
I
Mhm.
think it's totally universal. So that's not the greatest excuse. And Jordan says, I don't know what you meant by it, but it would mean a lot if you apologized. And Mina apologizes. She said,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry. She she shouldn't have to apologize for anything because she looks like a mugshot right now. She looks like someone who has been arrested for stealing from a 7-Eleven and then
Yeah, it's
throwing bottles
that
in the parking lot.
that humidity is rough, and I know they're probably filming outside because it's
Yeah.
pretty, but go inside where the air conditioning is.
Coincide. So Jordan says, "Thank you for your apology." And Nana says, "So is Jordan invited to the wedding, Mina?"
Mhm.
And I feel like Jordan is the one getting all the apologies. Like, when is it her turn to apologize? So Mina says, "Of course she's invited to the wedding, and please let me know if you want chicken or steak because I will be poisoning your dish." So she's like, "Yes, of course. You're the daughter. It's impossible for you not to be at the wedding." She's like being all nice and everything.
Yeah, in front of the
And
mom.
she's very smart to make Jordan feel special too because Jordan, like, needs to feel special.
I
Like,
think
she should
so.
give her a part in the wedding, I think. That would make Jordan feel very special with, like, a nice dress. Although
Put
Jordan
Jordan
might
at
show up in a white dress.
put Jordan in charge of Maria, really piss her off. Her sister she doesn't like.
So yeah, she has to walk her down the aisle, and
Yeah.
everyone's oohing and eyeing over the baby, and no one's even looking at Jordan.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah. So Nana is like, "Okay, so you're sorry you said that she wasn't invited to the wedding." I was like, this lady has just eaten so much crow and you keep making her take more servings. Like, so you say you're sorry that you said that. Like,
Do you think the whole
so
family is like, "Listen, Jordan's a little cray cray. All it
yeah,
takes is one apology and she'll be fine."
yeah,
Yeah,
uh-huh.
yeah.
So and make her feel like the princess that she
Mhm.
wants to be. So finally, Jordan goes, "And I'm sorry for anything I did that upset you." Like,
Just
no no emotion. She says nothing with a smile. It's always with, like, pursed lips and, like, no smile ever reaches her eyes. She
mm.
says nothing specific about what she's done that would have upset Mina. It's just, like, in general. And she says, I'm just trying to protect my dad. So, I defend all my actions. That's
Well, I
I have no regrets."
I get that, but she should have said, I'm sorry for trying to tell you when or you could or couldn't have a kid, like, that's obviously
Yeah,
not my right to control your body." I mean, she
right.
should have because I felt like Mina had to get specific on her apologies.
Mhm. She did, because Nana never said to Jordan, "What are you sorry for, Jordan?"
Mhm.
What specifically? She had all those follow-ups for Mina, but then Jordan just gets to say, "I'm sorry for anything that I've ever done that was bad."
And people be
So,
like, "Just keep Jordan happy and everybody wins." Yeah.
yes, I think that's how they all act. So Mina tells us, "I don't feel like her apology is sincere." 'Cause it wasn't, and she
Mhm.
had no smile on her face. And Nana is holding both of their hands clasped in the middle like she has just brokered peace in the Middle East at Camp
Yeah,
David,
cute.
and it's pretty funny. So, Mina tells us she didn't apologize for telling me I can't have another baby, or for telling me that I should have found someone else to marry if I wanted to have a baby, and I
Mhm.
should have not married her dad, and I'm a gold digger, and all this other thing she said.
Yeah.
So, they all walk back hand in hand to Mark and the group, and Jordan picks up her sister and is holding her like she has Ebola, and is like, "Look it, I'm so warm and loving with this little baby. Care, she's pooped. Get her away from me." And she tells Mark that they made up, and again, she does not smile with her eyes. She's like, yeah, we're fine. We made up. Mhm,
Mhm. Mhm.
we're good." And then she hugs her dad, and she's like, "Yeah, we're fine. Everything's fine." And then Mark and Mina go back to the ferry, and I was like, "That was it? A one-day trip for all
I
of the" uh
I don't know if they're gonna go back and forth every day. It's very easy. I mean, the ferry runs
No,
it's
they
in the
said they're done. They're going
the
back home now. I was like,
wow.
I mean, the
Okay.
day before they met at that alligator beach,
Uh-huh, in
and it
Southport. Mhm. Yeah.
and then, that was it, and then they had that, like, 2 hours with the family at this barbecue.
Yeah. And then they
At
got on
least
the
they
ferry and went
remembered
back
to put the
home.
baby in the golf cart and did not leave the baby on the island. So, I'm not over when they left the baby in the plane. So Mina tells us, "I just said that I'll sign the prenup so they would all leave me alone, but I don't know if the document's good for me or my lawyer, or my children, and I need
Yeah,
to find, or is it just good for him and I get nothing? Like, what I need." She needs to talk to a lawyer for sure.
absolutely. Yeah.
So Mark is all happy, like they're all Care Bears or something, like just holding hands going off into the sunset. And then Mina's like on the ferry, or as they're waiting for the ferry. "So, we didn't really finish our conversation. I don't want to sign the prenup." And he's like, "I thought we just did this whole thing." And
But
and
she's
that
right.
was
She's like, "We don't need to discuss this in front of your entire
in
family. You
front
it's
of
a
your whole
conversation we can
family.
have." And they could also sit down with a lawyer on each side to see what's
Exactly.
fair. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yes. He said, "I realized I can't make everyone happy." Like, he's just realizing that now. Maybe he could just tell the family that she signed the prenup. And then if they don't sign a prenup. Oh, hello.
Was that me or you?
And that was me. And,
Okay.
if he dies, they can just fight it out, but he'll be dead, so he won't care.
That's right.
And it'll be like, "Surprise, we never signed a prenup."
Ooh, wow. That's a show I'd watch.
Yeah.
Um, alrighty, let's move on to Matt and Imani and Ani, who now I'm just writing AHNEE, so I say it correctly.
I
So,
just write thruple.
yeah, I was right, thruple. So, a dude named Eddie, who's obviously American, it picks them up in an old red car. It's a '59 Ford Edsel. They're going on a private. winery tour, Amani is like, we're going on a private winery tour because I'm so rich.
Yeah.
And the
We're
talking
so
head,
sexy.
so
We could just do it
sexy.
in the winery
I do it in the winery. Also, I
on
could
the grapes.
fake cry like you can't believe. So, and the talking head, Amani's like, I'm just wondering, like, is Ani hiding me? So they all hold hands. They walk in. They try a Chardonnay. Cheers to us. Blah blah blah. Amani pulls some flowers out of a vase and hands them to Ani. She just like pulls them, and I was like, well, that's
Here are
rude.
some flowers I'm stealing from the centerpiece
It was, and
that
Ani's like,
the
oh my god, so
winery
nice.
got.
I was like, got some pink carnations, and you
What?
just ruined their display. What are you doing? So the talking head, Amani says, look, this trip is going more in favor with Matt. She kissed him first when
Mm.
she saw him. She had sex with him first alone, and I was not a part of it. She has told her family about him and not me. And I'm happy with the progress of the rules and everything we've discussed, but I'm worried about the growing closeness between those two. And I don't want to have jealousy, but I will. So this is what
She's
it
like,
comes
I
down
thought
to.
I was the hot one, and I thought she was more into me, which is what I thought too.
Yep.
And now she's keeping score, and there's like a tally marks in her
Yep.
head, and Matt's getting more. Nerdy Matt, who's always like smiling with his mouth open. It's my dumb husband. She's more into him.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So we come down to what it is, right? She wants to be the chosen one, and she wants her
Which
own
is again
husband, yeah, to
not the
be
part of the throuple. That's not what you're supposed to, it should be
supposed to
equal.
be equal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the wine guy's like, "Can I take a photo?" And so they take a photo with Matt in the middle, and she's just glaring. Amani is just glaring at Matt and Ani. But I mean, I was like, "You guys suggested the picture." So they're eating cheese and talking. And did you notice how aggressively Amani was shoving that cheese in her mouth? She was just nonstop with the cheese.
No shame.
Well,
I get the same way about cheese.
and she goes, the truth is, Amani says this, the truth is, I'm upset about the conversation in the car and you telling your family that I'm just a friend. And, we're in a polyamorous relationship. So why didn't you introduce me as the girlfriend and him as the friend? Like, why was I the one on the side? And she goes, well, when I get there to Guadalajara, wherever they're going, I will present you as my girlfriend. Matt goes, but aren't you planning to tell your family before we get there? And she goes, before? No, honey. No, 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 no. You don't understand. I'm so, so sorry. Sorry, sorry, sorry. You don't understand. Why does it matter if she tells them one day before or the next day? Why does it matter to them? Because they don't want the
They
family to be like ambushed?
but they are on a TV show and they're trying to become influencers. They should want a big ambush scene.
True. True. But maybe Ani's like, that's where I draw the line. Like, I can't ambush my like super Catholic family with this. Um, Or maybe I have to, that's the only way they'll accept
No,
it,
she is ambushing. She wants the ambush. They don't want the ambush.
Maybe she thinks if my family sees them in person, they can't be rude because 'cause they're right here, you know?
Right.
Yeah, and they can't tell me
Oh,
not to
and
come because 'cause we'll already be there, you know?
right. Let's
Um,
not beat around the ambush, and let's Stevie ambushed her dad
yeah,
practically, like,
she
the
did.
day before Maddie was coming, so
Yeah, she did.
it's a trope on this show that they need
Yeah,
to beat around.
yes. Yeah, oh, yeah, totally. So Matt goes, "Look, we're afraid that you're covering up who is important to you." And she goes, "Listen, I love
Again,
you."
it should be me. I'm
Yeah,
the
and Matt's like, "I'm the one."
me.
And
Yeah.
she goes, "Look, I love you, but, like, you have to give me time on this." Matt does this, like, smirking because it's so fake. Amani goes, "Ooh, hoo, hoo," fake cries, and says, "I just want you to be with us. Ooh, hoo, hoo." And then Matt goes, "Okay, all right, crazy. All right, listen, does anybody, anyone, friends, family, anybody know you're in a relationship with us?" And she kinda hesitates, and Amani in true, like, telenovela drama goes, "It should
Yeah.
be yes or no, and it shouldn't take you so long to answer." And she storms off. Now, it's so ridiculous. This is when she goes, "You can't turn a fucking hoe into a housewife. That's what's fucking going on." Storms off, fake
I
crying,
was like,
okay?
"But all that cheese on the table.
I don't
There's no
pick a
crying in cheese. Come
don't
on."
pick a fight until after you're done eating.
Yeah.
So in the talking head, Ani goes, I feel like she's pressuring me to do something that I'm going to do on my own time. And she's pressuring me because I think with Amani, it's like, if you don't do what she says, somebody's going to get hurt.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
likes to run the ship.
So Amani is like fake bawling, crying, fake.
The whole winery can hear. Like,
Yeah.
I hope it was a private tour and there was no one else there.
Because she's wailing.
She's
Like,
wailing again like a telenovela.
yes.
Ay, Dios mío. Like, it's full, but she's not in Spanish,
No,
but
right.
it's like with that attitude. Yeah.
It's like, oh, I just throw myself against the wall with my hand. And so again, Matt seems to be, smirking, and he's talking to her. He's like, it's okay, honey, baby, honey, baby. It's okay. And then Ani comes over and they squat on the ground together for no reason. That's not good
No
for your
reason.
knees. What are you doing? Why are you squatting? I think she thinks it makes it more dramatic if she's like, oh, I have to get on the
I
ground.
collapsed to the ground. Yes.
Yes. There are
I have the papers.
zero actual tears on her face. Now her
No.
makeup does seem a little smudgy, but I think she smudged it herself.
Yeah.
I think she did. So, Amani is like, why won't you tell the world that you're in a serious relationship with us? When will your actions match your words? Why don't you listen to me? Well, the world is going to know because you're on television. Okay.
Yeah.
And Ani goes, listen, here's the truth. The truth of it is she doesn't understand me because just because she's so open with everything doesn't mean I have to be. And we can't all be like she is. And I'm just protecting myself here. And then he comes up and he squats. He's like, why are we squatting? What are we doing?
Also, he
And
keeps calling them girls. He keeps going, girls, girls.
yeah, no fighting, girls. It's like his daughters.
Yeah.
Separate,
Yeah.
So Ani goes, okay, I will tell all of my people. And they all unsquat together. Now, if that was me, I'd be like, I'm stuck. Somebody help me. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been squatting for a
I
long
need
time.
help.
I need help. And they're like, let's go. So they start to head out. And Amani says to Ani, I love you. I just want to make it work. And Ani goes, you don't understand. And if you don't understand this, I can go. I'll just leave. It's okay. You've got to understand where I'm coming from. No, you don't understand. Stop it. I love you. I love you too. And they start fighting. And then Matt goes, wow, this is not how you deal with it, girls. And Ani says to Amani, if you could get more relaxed with me, like less drama. I like to have less drama. I can't deal with this. Amani goes, I don't like drama. I like to make my point. And Ani goes, you're not my owner. You're not the boss of me. Talking head Ani says, I want to go with them to the US, but I'm scared to go with them to the US because I think she thinks if she has the money, she can give me orders.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. So, Matt says, standing there with Amani, Matt goes, well, that didn't go well. And she goes, is that all you have to fucking say? Stay here. So he's like, oh God, okay.
And they're like fighting over this guy. Come on.
And I also think they're fighting over Ani, her. I don't,
Yeah, her too.
even Amani. She's so
Yeah,
crazy.
her.
Her.
Yeah.
Maybe we just solved it. They're perfect for each other.
Yeah.
So Amani goes up to Ani. And Ani goes, if you could just shut up. If you could just shut up, you could hear me talking. I love you more than him. She's like, what? She goes, I feel more for you than for him. I'm staying here because of you, not him. Now, this is all Amani wants to hear, by the way.
Yeah.
So then she goes, oh, how dare you? Don't tell him that. That's so hurtful.
No, we're supposed to be equal in this. But secretly,
Remember?
she's like, mm-hmm.
Remember 30
I
minutes ago when you were like,
I
it
am the
seems like
special one.
Ani likes him more. Yeah.
Mm.
So then in the talking head, Amani goes, gosh, I've waited so long for this validation from her, but I'm not even sure if she means it or if it's the truth. Maybe she was just saying it. I definitely don't know if I should tell him that she said that, but actually I can't wait to tell her that. I
Uh-huh.
can't wait to tell him that she
But
said
is she saying it to both of them? That's the question.
that. Uh-huh. Yeah. Wow.
And then it's gonna get revealed that she's two-timing within the throuple and lying, saying each one of them is the real reason she's there.
She's not following the rules that they had set forth with their formal wear
Uh-uh.
picnic date last week. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Alrighty, let's move on to Stevi and Mahdi. You guys, I'm interviewing Stevi today, actually.
I'm
That
so
should be
excited.
on the free feed, I think, on Wednesday. Um, Tomorrow, Wednesday. So Stevi and Mahdi. So here we are in Hattiesburg. Of course, they got to show a Confederate statue, which I didn't like because
Uh,
Hattiesburg is more than that, but they did show it. That's okay. You can't erase your past. So they're driving in the car and they're looking at a mall. She's like, I used to work at that mall. And he goes, the name of that store is Dick's. And she goes, uh-huh. And he goes, Dick's. She goes, well, you have to say the whole thing, Dick's Sporting Goods. You can't just say Dick's, which everybody does just say Dick's. I'm going to go to Dick's to get
yeah,
the soccer ball or
and
whatever.
then you laugh. Mhm.
They're going to the gym together. So Mataki Daddy says, I've never been in my life to a gym with females, like in workout clothes. And I can't believe it. Like, I can't believe, and then they keep showing this one girl who has on like a sports bra and sweatpants, and she's like squatting.
Yeah.
And he comes out in his workout clothes and he is ripped. He is
Mhm.
ripped.
Mhm.
And he goes, I feel weird in here. Like, there's girls and I just don't know where to look. And the
He's
Talking
just
Eddie,
trying not to pop a boner. Like, this whole scene is called "Don't Pop a Boner."
that's the undercurrent of what he's saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he says, and the Talking Eddie goes, I think that the government always thinks about what men might be turned on by. So in Iran, women are not allowed to show their hair, much less their bodies. So I'm just trying hard to look anywhere but at these women. Like, he just can't believe these women are in the gym. He can't believe it.
No, he's, like, walking around with his textbook in front of his pants,
He also has like a very
like
long tongue
he's in
Teflon.
junior
Yeah.
high.
Yeah. Right. And so she goes, I'm going to go get on the treadmill so you can lift weights or you can just like kind of figure out your way around the gym. And I'm just going to go do some cardio. He goes, no, I'll come with you. I'll come with you. She goes, you don't have to. You could go. And he's like, no, I'm very nervous. So a girl comes up, that same girl, and asks him about the weights, like about lifting the weight. And he goes, I don't know because I do it in kilos. So I don't know. And he's like, okay, oh, look away from the girl. And then he talks to Stevie about like his dream of being a personal trainer. And she goes, but how professional will you be? Because girls are really forward. Like, if I saw you in the gym and you were cute, I would come up to you and be like, hey, what's going on? Like, you want to go out sometime? What would you say to that? He goes, how would I handle that? I guess I'll just say I'm married. And she goes, yes, that would be a good start. Right, right, right. So, because she's like, if I looked and saw a guy that didn't have a ring on, so once
Yeah.
he has a ring on, it'll be fine. So now they're talking about her painting. And he goes, I would be very uncomfortable if you were painting men. And she goes, really? And he goes, yeah. He goes, it was really hard for me to come in your house and see boobs. So many
Honk, honk.
boobs. Boom, boom, boobs. So many boob paintings. And he goes, like, there's so many. I was just wondering, like, are you sexually attracted to the women? And she goes, I have never been asked that question. That's weird. That's a weird question. I don't want to answer that. I'm attracted to you. God, men are so weird. Like, my dad asked me too, like, are you hiding it because you met a woman? And he goes,
So you
really? Your
have been asked that question.
Well, he goes, so your dad asked you? And she goes, no, he was being sarcastic. And he goes, maybe your dad has seen something. Are you sure? And she goes, yeah, I'm sure. What are you talking about? That's weird. I'm not going to, no. And he goes, well, that's the wrong answer. And she goes, I'm not going to give you the answer you're wanting. So we should just end the conversation. What's happening here? What's happening here?
I don't know.
I don't know either. And I'm going to write this down. Stevie, questions I need to ask her. How would I ask her that?
Is she being defensive because she's like, it's no one's business and
Uh-huh.
I shouldn't have to answer, and, you know,
Mhm.
I
Yes.
mean, it probably is her future husband's business, but,
Yeah. Mhm.
um or maybe she's like, everyone's on a spectrum, but he's not gonna be able to understand that right now.
Mhm. Maybe she would be
He
like,
just got here.
yeah, I mean, maybe
So
she could be like, "I've hooked up with girls, but I never dated a girl, like, seriously."
right. Or maybe she is, like, uncomfortable, but it's a southern town, but it's a college town,
Yeah.
so I can't tell, like, how conservative it is. Her dad's very conservative, though.
Mhm.
So, like, maybe she just doesn't wanna talk about it on camera?
Could
and
be, and
she's
it
gonna
could be
tell
that's why
him
she's
at
giving
a
him that look.
later time, like,
Yes.
"We are gonna talk about this at a different time."
Yeah. I think that's why she said, like, "You're not gonna get the answer you want, so you need to quit asking me." I think maybe that's why, like,
Mhm.
that's code. Um, so then, the producer, the talking head, she goes, "No, that's insane that he would ask me that, and I don't have to answer it." The producer goes, "Don't you think he would feel better if you just gave him, like, a definitive no?" And she goes, "I don't know. I don't know why his mind is not at ease, and I don't know why I would have to comfort him in that way." I think her whole thing is like, "Obviously, I'm attracted to you. You're my partner, and that should be the answer. Whatever I did in the past is the past, you know?" Um,
Well, it's like Rob and Sophie, like, she came out to him as bisexual last season, and
yeah,
he was all upset about it, but she's like, "I'm attracted to you as a person." So
right,
it's like, it doesn't matter if I meet someone else and they're, like, happen to be, like, a hot woman or a hot man because I'm attracted to you.
right.
So, it doesn't matter. But she had never really explored that part of herself, and I think that's why he was concerned, like, what if she's gonna feel like something's missing and she does wanna explore that part of herself,
Later,
and
she
now we're
said she
getting
later sh
married.
later she said she lied though, and that she had dated women.
She had, you're right,
Yeah,
yeah.
mhm. So, he was right to be skeptical, but Rob sucks, that's who cares?
Yeah.
So, and the talking head, he goes, "No, I actually do need to know for sure if she's bisexual before we get married. Like, I need to know because what if we got married and then further down the line she wants something else?" Okay. 80 days to wed. He's been there 10 days now. They're at her house and they're gonna have some kind of a date night. And the talking head, he goes, "It's weird to have like a date night. I never saw my parents kiss or touch or anything. It's just not done, but we're gonna do it on camera and we're gonna okay." So they're having wine, and he says, "This is crazy because if you have alcohol in Iran, you would get," and he kinda does a whoosh, whoosh, you know? And she goes, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, probably like 40 lashes." She's like, "What?" Yeah. And then she goes, "Okay, so go ahead and get naked so I can paint you." And he goes, "What?"
It's really like he just got to America and was
Yeah.
so blown away by Bourbon Street, and now you're making him, like, strip and paint each other on camera.
He's like, "Huh? Huh?" And he goes, "Are you kidding?" And she goes, "No, go ahead and take all your clothes off." He goes, "Huh?" And she goes, "No, I'm kidding. Of course I am." And she goes, "Well, here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna paint my butt and my legs, and then I'm gonna sit on a canvas and you'll have that." He goes, "No, no, no. No, you can't do that. I'm very uncomfortable. No, this is too much, too soon. Maybe later." And so she's laughing. She goes, "Okay." And she goes, "Okay, well, what can we paint?" And he goes, "You can paint my guns," because he wants to the gun show. So she gets the paint. He takes his shirt off. She gets the paint out, and she kind of puts the paint all on the side of his arm. And then he does like a flexing, and she smashes the arm on the canvas,
Did
and
you
he
notice
likes it.
those scratches on his back?
No, I didn't. I just noticed that his that hair on his body is very short, like he probably shaves it. Yeah,
I was like, "He's hot, but let's wax those shoulders."
yeah,
There's
he could use a waxing. Yeah,
and then, like, he sits down on the couch next to this pillow, which the pattern of this pillow, like, matches his chest hair perfectly. I was just fascinated by his body hair in this whole scene.
but no, I didn't see the scratches. Good for them.
Yeah,
So,
good for him.
so they're sees the arm and she's like, "Okay, I'll fix it." She's gonna paint it. And so he says, "So, did I tell you about the price of changing my status? The price is just going up and up." And she goes, "Yeah, it's like on a double." And he says, "Yeah." And he goes, "So if we get married earlier than the 90 days, it would be better for me, saving money. Like if we could do it in a couple of weeks. And I know that would be hard, but we could save that money and then I could work. Yeah, I could go to work sooner." And she goes, and she said, "I do understand that from a logical standpoint that it makes sense, of course. But it's a lot to process. I have to think about it. And right this exact minute, I'm not sure how I feel about rushing it." And he goes, "Well, I can promise you if we could do that, then I could be happier sooner." And she goes, "Well, I do worry about you getting adjusted here. Like you just got here. And I worry about you saying that you want to go back home." The talking head, she goes, "I don't think he should ask me to push the wedding date if he's not totally sure about being here. Like that confuses me. I don't know why he would, if he's not even sure he's going to stay here. Cause, to me, it's for
Mhm.
forever, even though I think she said she'd been married twice. I'm going to write that down on my notes.
Yeah, where are the
Married
children?
children? Where are your children? Okay. Um, and she goes, we both have a choice here, not just you. I have a choice here too. And there's a part of me that worries if we get married, you will potentially leave me. You will potentially like decide you want to go back home. Because for me, getting married is forever. And I've seen a lot of changes in you. Like now she says when I leave for work in the morning, which I was again like, I thought you like taught English from your house.
Yeah.
Writing it down.
Used
Work?
about that.
Question mark. Um, and when I leave and then I come back, if you talk to your family, I can tell you're getting super homesick. And then when I come home, you're kind of in a different mood and it just maybe puts a strain on our relationship because you're upset after you talk to your family. And he goes, oh, I thought I was doing a good job of hiding my feelings because he's so like monotone
Aw.
all the time.
Yeah.
And she goes, I don't know. Maybe if like you didn't talk to him every day, like if you didn't talk to him so much, it would help a little bit. And he goes, so you want me to not call my family? And she goes, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying like talking to them every day is keeping you in the mindset of being there with them and not the mindset of now you're here with me. And like, if you're not 100% sure on this, like, I don't think I'm going to be able to marry you. So his talking head, he says, I call my family every day and I can't help it, but my mom will start crying. And then that's really hard on me. And then of course I feel stuck in the middle because I want to be here with her. But of course I also want to be with my family. And I don't like that she's saying like, don't talk to them as much. And she has to actually just be willing to trust me on this, or maybe we shouldn't get married. I think all of this is like a made up storyline because I think they're fine and they get along great and they have to
Mhm.
have a conflict in order to be on this show. It
Mhm.
can't just be happy.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think much like many of the couples on this show, he's stuck at home just talking to his crying mom on the phone. That would
right.
make anyone feel out of place, and then she goes out and has a life. He needs to find a life there. No one on this show does that. Like, they could take some community classes.
Yeah.
You don't need
Mhm.
a pass like a visa to do that. You
Yeah.
could volunteer or find a mosque to go to or, like, a
Yeah.
club or something.
Yeah.
Like, there are things you could do
Mhm.
without papers.
He doesn't seem to be writing this down too. He doesn't seem to be super religious
No, he doesn't.
because he's not concerned about her covering her hair, and he's definitely not concerned about them drinking or
No,
her
could
driving
they
the
be one
car
of
or
they might be one of our only couples besides Rebecca and Zied, where he is from a religious country and is not making her conform.
yeah, or pretending that he's not and then bringing it up later.
That's what we always fear
That's
about,
what we
yeah.
always fear, yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty, let us move on to Jessica and Juan.
Oh god.
That's
And
you.
Emily, who I keep calling Megan.
Her name is Megin.
It's Megan with an I, but I keep thinking it's Emily.
Why
No
did you
idea.
think it's Emily?
No idea. It's
Because she just looks like an
Megan with
Emily?
yeah, it's Megan with an I.
Okay.
So, Jessica and Juan's hero shot is so dramatic. She reaches for him and he turns away and looks off into the distance like full on telenovela. Like,
Did you see
no.
Shawn did you see Shekinah and Sarper's? So first they've had one where she, like, put some makeup on
Oh
him,
yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
then this one is like, boop, and, Shawn and
And
Alliya, she's putting makeup on herself. I'm like, "Oh
yeah.
my god, they're getting creative."
Stop. They're getting very creative.
Yeah.
I think he bites Shekinah's finger
Yeah.
in one of their hero shots.
Yeah. They're all so
Um,
cringy. Yeah.
they used to just like pose.
Right, and then remember when we got, 90 Day UK, they were like, action shots. They were all, like,
Yes.
jumping in the air
Yeah.
and, like yeah, and, like, do, 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 like,
Yes.
dancing like
Yes.
boomerangs, like, up and back, up and
Yes.
back. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So funny.
I like it. So, it's something to keep the show lively.
Just keep us on our toes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jessica goes to meet with Megan with an I, which is still insane to me.
Mhm.
And Jessica tells us Megan doesn't have many friends. In fact, I'm like her only friend.
That was tough to hear. That was tough to hear.
Was that shade?
Shade.
Um, why did she have to say that?
I don't know.
And it explains so much too.
Megan
Like
is married from what I could tell from her Instagram. So, I mean, she does
she
have
is
a life.
she but is it's something weird.
Yeah.
So she says Megin felt like Juan cheated on her. And the fact that I already knew, she felt like I cheated on her too. So now she just feels like everyone's cheating on her. And I'm worried that if other things came out, how she'd be able to handle it. What?
Okay, so he did it with somebody else too. I
Right?
bet. I bet. Mhm.
Or is
Mhm.
there something even worse? Like, does he have another child somewhere? Or charges?
No, and
Nothing.
I kind of understand the Megan side of it in that you've involved me in this drama all this time,
Yeah,
and then you get resolution to it and you never tell me. And so
yeah,
I'm out here looking like an asshole, hating your future
right,
husband because you never told me that the you 2 of you made peace. So I look like a jerk. And this is
yeah,
why you should never tell your friends everything if you
right,
think you're getting back together with a person, because then everybody's gonna
right,
hate that person when you get back together with them.
right. They
Yeah,
can forgive, but you're not the friends that never forgive.
never,
So,
never.
no. So she orders the mango daiquiris that are ginormous and that
Mhm.
they don't drink. They just sit there. So
They're like, "If we drink these, we're not gonna be making sense on camera." Yeah.
mhm. So Megan starts crying again because that's what she does,
Mhm.
and if they're at a bar, so she's that girl that cries at bars, and and not even in the bathroom like a
No.
normal girl. She
Mm-mm,
just
no.
cries at the bar.
Yeah.
So she's like, "You both lied to me," and but as she's crying, she's smiling at Jessica in this Megan the robot doll that kills people when
Uh-huh.
after she floss dances. And, so it's do a side by side. It was creepy. It's
Okay.
this smile that's like, "I'm gonna kill you and your boyfriend, if you ever
Uh-oh.
cheat on me again."
Dateline
And
crossover.
yeah, and Jessica tells her, "It is my relationship." And Megan's like, "What?"
Mm.
She goes, "It's my relationship, and so there are things I won't necessarily share, but you're my maid of honor, and
Mhm.
I need you and Juan to be family, and I'm actually really scared that you're gonna stand up and object at the wedding." And we
Right.
all are hoping for that because it would be really good TV.
Totally.
And Megan is like, "Smile, smile, smile. It's gonna take time to trust Juan." And Megan goes, "Well, our wedding is in 90 days, so you don't have that much time." And Megan says, "How can I trust him again?" And Jessica's like, "I don't think she's ever going to let this go. And I'm worried about how she's going to treat Juan. I don't think she'd actually kill him." She's not She's not a criminal. That would be crazy, but she would be really scary. She's, like, literally going off on this monologue about on camera slowly realizing her best friend might kill Juan, and it was very enjoyable.
It's just sorta
Um,
like, why is she so obsessed with this situation? It seems unhealthy. Maybe she should get herself into therapy even though she is a therapist.
is a therapist.
Yeah.
I think she's secretly in love with Jessica, um,
Could be. They look alike,
or
actually.
or secretly in love with Juan, and that's why all that hatred comes out for him.
Mhm. Hmm.
Um, but anyway, she doesn't think that Megan would kill Juan.
That's good.
Okay.
Justice for
Th
Juan.
It would be a great spinoff for Happily Ever After, a murder trial.
Oh, oh,
I don't wish it on anybody.
We don't want that for Juan.
No,
Um,
I like Juan.
we like Juan. Okay, so, we're gonna go to Shawn and Alliya, and it took me a second because I was like,
And
"Where are my"
Maxwell,
Maxwell is so cute. So, okay, talking it together, she says, "Last night they had sex. It was special." And the doggy's in the bed with her, when they're talking, and she's being sweet to the dog, even though she's uncomfortable with the dog being in the bed.
mhm,
And he goes, "I'm gonna make the magical bed do its thing." And he presses a button and it like vibrates the bed. I guess it's like supposed to be like a massager.
yeah,
She's like, "Oh, I love this." And then he goes, "Also, what I'm gonna do to make you get out of the bed," he like lifts it up like a hospital bed for her to get up.
yeah.
Nobody mentions this little baby doll in the bed with him.
I wrote, "What the hell is that doll?
Why does nobody mention this baby doll?
Why are they both cuddling with it?"
Is it Alliya's that she brought from home that was something from special from her past? Is this a baby doll that they got so they could pretend they have a baby? I don't understand any of it.
Oh God, like one of those ladies
Yeah.
who pushes them around in a stroller.
Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully somebody has seen her do a live or something where she talks about it. But it was weird. So she goes in the bathroom and she gets her toothbrush and she comes back out and she's like with her toothbrush. She goes, "My toothbrush was there all night. Like it's his fault. Like he did
Yeah.
something with her toothbrush." And she
Yeah.
goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "It was touching all night." And he goes, "It was on top of the soap holder, like the soap holder where it's got like the little slots in it, for the
Yeah.
toothbrushes." And she goes, "How could I use this? It was out all night long and not covered." And he goes, "I what?" And she goes, "So when you flush the toilet, the bacteria and germs go into the air and touch the toothbrush, and now I need a new one. I can't use this. I got to throw it away." I mean, he goes,
So she must keep it in a medicine cabinet at home if she doesn't have a cover.
right. Or she has a cover and puts that in the medicine cabinet. And
But
she goes, "It
where
wasn't."
is the cover? She didn't bring it with
She
her
did.
then.
I'm sure
Okay.
she brought a brand new toothbrush with her. I don't think she would
Yeah.
travel with her toothbrush. And so, she goes, "Okay, so now I need to get all the things to clean. I have to get all the things to clean. We have to go somewhere and I have to get." She goes to the bathroom, like, "Oh my God." Like she opens the trash can. She's like really upset. I was like,
Yeah.
did she just not brush her teeth then? Did he? Yeah. She's like, "You can have it now. It's disgusting." He's like, "Okay." So, she goes, "You don't," he goes, "I just rinse my toothbrush before I put it in my mouth, so it's clean." She's like, "Oh, and then you kiss me with that mouth." He's like,
Yeah.
"Okay."
It is gross when you think
Yeah, it
about
is when
it.
you think about it. And the Talking Eddie says, "I've always thought her concern with germs was just a side of her being a nurse, but really it's extreme germophobia, and I try to tolerate it, but some of it I can't. But this, okay, the toothbrush thing, okay, all right." So they're going shopping and they're looking up at like some houses up on the hill in the Hollywood Hills. And she goes, "Look at those mansions on the hill." And he goes, "Yeah." And she goes, "It's crazy because in Brazil, if you live up in the mountains, it's the slums. You're poor. But here in Los Angeles, you're rich if you live in the mansion up there." Isn't that interesting?
It's very interesting. Yeah.
It seems like that's where the view is and people want to live up.
Mhm.
But in their country, if the further up you live, the more poor you are.
Mhm.
Interesting. So they go to Larry's Pharmacy. Were you familiar with Larry's Pharmacy?
No, take her to a CVS. They had barren white walls in that pharmacy and, like, 2 shelves of things. I
CVS
need a
is,
CVS where they have literally options.
yeah.
Just, anything you need, they have 10 options of it.
Yes, but I think that they're not allowed to film in a CVS. Um,
Mm.
so they go to a small local pharmacy and they see the dog toy. She gets all excited. She immediately takes the carrot off the wall and goes, "I get this. Maxwell will love this." He's like, "Maxwell has a lot. I don't care." Carrot. So they look at all the products. And so she sees a home HIV test. He goes, "Yeah, you could just do it right at home." And she's like, "What?" And in the talking head, he tells us she does an HIV test like every month. And he goes, "I don't know at this point if it's germophobia. I don't know if it's just like hypochondriac. I don't know, but it's something." And he goes, "And if we're intimate and everyone is tested and okay, it doesn't matter. She still lets her mind just run wild. And, in a perfect world, we would be monogamous, but it's a catch 22 because if we open the relationship, she fears STDs and is so worried about everything. We won't really be intimate very much. But if we're monogamous and she fully transitions, and then I feel like I'm losing things I enjoy, which is being with a man. And so we're just trying to figure out how to navigate it really. I want her to be happy with her life, obviously, but I need to be happy in my life too." So now we go 87 days to wed. They're at a restaurant. And she says, "I'm very happy with the new toothbrush and the cover that goes with it to protect it from the germs." And
That's a good thing is she's very happy with, like, little things.
yeah, she's happy with that fake carrot for the dog.
Yeah.
And she goes, "And I'm very happy with the HIV home test, very happy." And he goes, "Did you ever like skip a month testing yourself on that?" And she goes, I got better. And I think I did like 7 times in a year because like my mind was just so full of the possibilities. And that's how I can relieve my worry. It sounds a little OCD, maybe more so than germophobia,
It's
with the,
100%. it's OCD, anxiety disorder, like, there's a lot of things. Because I thought I had AIDS growing up when I was a child all
Mm,
the time
mhm.
because of my severe anxiety that was never treated, and
Yeah,
that's why I got on medication and therapy. Did I
yeah,
realize that's not normal or a healthy way to live,
yeah,
thinking that
yeah. She
you
just
have
fixated on
AIDS
it,
all the
fixated.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and she says, "That's the only way to be relieved is to take the HIV test." And he goes, "Do you think that's a lot of times to be taking an HIV test in a year?" And she goes, "Yeah, it's crazy." And so he goes, "Okay." So the talking head, he says, and this is what we're realizing now, it's not just about the sex. He says, if she goes to a nail salon and she thinks it looks dirty, or if she cuts herself and she's at the gym, she has to
Yeah.
go home and do an HIV test. It's every
Yeah.
little thing
Poor
in the world.
thing.
She's afraid
God,
of
that
everything. Yeah.
yeah. That's horrible that she has
So
to
you
live
can
like that.
imagine the open relationship, how worried she would be more than just
Yes.
the infidelity part. It's the OCD, the germ part. Yeah.
Also, he did confirm that she's a nurse. So,
He said it. Yeah.
how is she a nurse? Like, does she not have to test herself just when she goes, like, home? Just, like, breathing in the air at the hospital, I would imagine she
She's
feels like
full
she
hazmat,
has
full
gotten
hazmat.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he says, "So we were intimate. So now are you going to start worrying? Like, how's this going to go?" And she goes, "Well, I thought you said you're going to be monogamous when I come to America." And he goes, "Yeah, I am. As long as we're still being intimate, then it's no problem to be monogamous." The talking head, she
No,
said,
wait, what? No, that's
um, this is mixed signal. So in the talking head, she goes, I want to be monogamous, and part of it is my germophobia, and so now he's saying he will be monogamous with me if he's happy with our intimacy. So this makes me have a lot of questions, like, is he still gonna be attracted to me? Because when we started the relationship, he was attracted to the men's, and
right.
now I don't look like that.
Mhm.
So she says, "Alright, so how will you feel if I start to change my body?" And he goes, "Well, at this point, you've only talked about the brow bone shaving down and increasing your butt to look more womanly with your curves. But for now, you're saying everything else," he means the private area, "will be staying as is." And so he goes, "But now, I don't know. I mean, are you forever going to be changing? Is it going to be constantly a new thing with the changing?" And she says, truthfully, she goes, "I don't know. I don't know if I have a limit. I don't know if what the limit would be that I would change." And he says, "Well, and this is nice. He says, "I don't want you to feel like you have to lose something in order for our relationship to work, but I also don't want to feel like I have to give something up for our relationship to work." And I would love to say it's all fine and it doesn't matter what you do or what I do, but that's not true. And she says, "Well, as we go through this in the future, I will hold your hand through all the things." Which is really nice because she's like, he's supporting me, I'm supporting him. It's change for both of them. And I think it's nice that she's recognizing it's hard, it's a change for him too.
Right. However,
Yes.
does he seem happy that she's there?
I think he's very interested in her as like a person and somebody he can take care of and love. Um, yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
He just doesn't seem that happy, and she's only been there for 3 days.
But that also just might be his personality.
That could just
Yeah.
be his personality.
Yeah. So in the talking head, he says, the truth is, if she gets full gender reassignment, it's hard to imagine to me, like, it's really hard. I'm not in that mindset, so I can't imagine how that feels. It's hard to really grasp that, and it's all new for Alliya too. So I'm not holding her to anything. I'm not holding her to any, specific, "Yes, I'm doing gender reassignment. No, I'm doing partial. No, I'm not." And he
Mhm.
says, and I appreciate she said she wants to support me through it like I'm supporting her. And really, truthfully, we have something special that goes beyond gender or her name. But I fell for a man, and I don't know how I'm going to feel once every nuance of that person is erased.
Right.
And we know we're under the gun of a timeline here with the 90-day, and the time is ticking away, and that's really hard. I mean, this really is like very, very, very complicated. And I think
It's
the show was approaching it respectfully. I think so.
yeah, I mean, the last week was rough with them calling her by her
Yes,
dead
it
name,
was.
like,
It was.
repeatedly,
It
but
was.
Yeah. It's a very complicated situation, and not a lot of couples survive a transition. Or
Yeah.
I don't know the statistics. I only
Yeah.
know from, like, people that I know where
Mhm.
it doesn't always
Yeah.
it's not because the person's changing.
Yeah. In
So
lots of ways, not just, like,
but which
physically,
is
but
why
yeah.
marriage is hard in general, because people change and grow as they age, not
Yeah.
their gender expression, but, like, other things too. Um, it's
That's all right, Kimberly.
Whew.
It's a tough one. It's a
I
tough
don't
one.
know what the right answer is, unless it's just maybe they're both not what the other person needs and they should break up. I think perhaps they should have, waited on the K1 and just done some more visits, because the
Yeah.
last visit was still so fraught with, like, conflict
Yeah.
that and they've not spent a lot of time together where she's just been Aliyah. Maybe it was too soon to do this 90-day thing.
Yeah. 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 Well, in the words of Sean Robinson, we're not gonna solve it today. So, next time on
Never gets
Joan
old.
never gets old. Joan
Uh-uh.
makes Greg exercise. He doesn't like it. And she's like and then he says, "Hey, I've got a job interview coming up." She goes, "Don't screw it up. If you don't get the job, you know I'm leaving. I'm done." He's like, "Wow, Joan. Wow." No smile on her face. She's
No,
furious at him.
she's not joking. No.
Aliyah and Shawn meet with somebody. It's not clear in the preview, and this woman, and he says, honestly, I would have loved to just live together and not have to do this K1. And in the talking head, the friend says, I don't know if Aliyah is getting what she needs here. I don't know if Aliyah is getting the love she deserves. I was like, wow, who's this
Yeah.
ally? Yeah, love her.
Mhm.
Maddie goes to a monster truck rally, it seems like, with the dad, Perry. And he tells, which was funny, he
They're
tells
just
that,
throwing him into the deep
yeah,
end of America.
yeah,
They really are. Boob
it's gonna be
painting and just
Boo Peyton and truck
Bourbon
racing.
Street and truck ra yeah.
Next, we're gonna wrestle some alligators. So, he tells the dad that he wants to propose, and Perry's like, "Huh? Now she said she might be having second thoughts. Now I don't want to threaten nobody, but it's best that I don't get mad." And then the talking head Perry goes, "Look, if he's having second thoughts, I'm not gonna walk her down the aisle," and that's fair.
Yeah,
So again, I think it's all made up because I think they're fine.
yeah.
So the thruple, Amani cries and says, "I put my whole life on the line for Ani." And Ani says, "If you don't relax and calm down, we can't stay together.
Yeah.
Chill out."
Well, she said
Uh,
it perfectly. I don't do drama. You like drama.
mhm. Yeah, right. So there's some woman that's shopping with Mina, and this woman tells Mina, you know that when he was talking to you, he was also talking to his ex, Jade. And she's like, "What?" And then I guess it seems like she gets in a Uber to go meet up with old Jade and leaves him babysitting Maria.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. What's going to happen?
The 2 Parisian women against each other.
Was Jade
Wait, was that lady
Parisian?
Parisian?
I don't
No, maybe
know.
she wasn't Parisian.
I don't know. Um, Kimberly, this Friday when I was at speaking to Mina up in Bald Head Island, we were watching TV and Dateline was on, and I was like, "Okay, I really need to take my notes. I got a lot of note taking to do over the weekend,
Mhm.
but Dateline's on, and I hadn't seen it, so I watched the whole thing. Are you covering it this week?"
Yes, it's
Okay.
called Deadly Obsession. Very good episode. Yeah.
Um, when it was first going on, I was kind of like, "Have I seen these people before?"
Yeah, I know. We had the same reaction, but it was a new episode. We had not I didn't even know the case.
I
But
guess I didn't either because well, listen, we love a case with a twist at the end where somebody tries to represent themselves in court. Always entertaining.
this was
Always
hilarious
entertaining.
because someone was trying to represent themselves wearing a puffer coat, like a puffy jacket in court.
Well, she would just midway through be like, "You know what? I'm cold. Can I get off?" And just
Yeah.
go, head back over to her seat and grab her coat. And we're like, "It's
Yeah.
not what you do in court. You can't just
No.
interrupt the yeah." So it was a good episode. So I watched it. Dave even watched it. My husband, well, I mean, kind of. He was also like playing a game on his phone, but he was like,
Yeah.
"Wait, is that the same lady from earlier?" I go, "Yeah, she looks different. Yeah, she looks different. Jail will do that to you."
That has to be frustrating watching this. I don't like watching TV with people who are not paying attention and
Oh
asking
God.
questions. That
That's
is
what
annoying.
that's why we don't really watch anything together. I go, "Unless you're gonna get full attention, I can't watch it with you."
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of that, I was watching the White Lotus finale. I'm not gonna give any
Don't
spoilers.
yeah.
I'm not, no spoilers. But I, was watching it and people kept coming through the room. When will I learn? When will I learn? So they would start running the ice maker, or Anna came through and was talking and she goes, "And then I rode a unicorn." I go, "What?" And she goes, "I'm just talking to you. You're not even listening." And I said, "I have already told you it is the finale of White Lotus and I'm not to be spoken to." And so she left the
You need
room.
like one of those airtight chambers.
Mm,
You need a panic room.
mm,
Okay, a panic room with 2 sets of doors,
mhm.
and they both have spin locks, eye scanner, eye like,
Yeah,
locks,
biometric,
and then
yeah.
biometric, and, you have to Mission Impossible your way into the room, and then no one will bother you. I don't know how you live with people. I haven't
I
had
j
roommates in so long, I don't it would drive me crazy.
Well, I should just come up to my office, but because it was the finale, I wanted to see it on the bigger TV because this TV in my office is kinda small. I coulda just
Yeah.
come up here and sat on my couch and done it, but I the dogs are a little nervous because we just got back from a trip, and so they were just a little panicky. Yesterday, I was recording with Keisha, and it was nighttime because I'd gotten home late, it was nighttime, and I walked out of my office, and Violet was sitting outside my door of the
Oh.
office, like, waiting for me to get done because she was like, "What's happening? What's
Oh.
happening? Where is that woman that just made me go on that boat?" And I was so scared. Everybody, that's the
And there was this
episode.
Parisian lady, and she was yelling at this little white girl with the stink face, and I was like
Stink face.
and there was a baby there. They just left the baby on the ferry.
Oh, I'd
And
be so
Ginger and
excited.
Violet are like, "Woof, woof, take care of that baby." Oh my god, we almost lost the baby on the ferry.
Oh,
Thank you,
no.
dogs.
No, stop. Um, Everybody, that's the episode. On Thursday, I am gonna be talking to Molly McAleer, who has that podcast, Mother May I Sleep With podcast. She has a couple of podcasts, and she's gonna be on Talking Pop and Bravo. And also, I believe Wednesday, we'll put out the interview with Stevie, my Mississippi girl. I'm very excited about that. I've got some, little notes here.
I like her.
I like Stevie a lot. I think we're gonna have a great conversation.
Mhm.
That'll be Wednesday, and then this weekend, of course, Amy and I will be covering 90 Day The Last Resort. You guys, that episode's gonna come out on Saturday because 'cause I'm traveling. I'll be going to Mississippi. That'll be, trip 3 of 6. I'll be going to Mississippi to see my son, so that episode will come out Saturday morning, so just be patient with that, and, I'll put something out about it as well. But I'll still get questions, but just letting you know. And guys, another cool thing you can do to support podcast, any podcast, if you like a podcast, if you like A Date with Dateline, if you like this podcast, you can head on over to the Apple or Spotify has it too. Hit that 5 star, leave a nice review. It helps. It really does.
Mhm.
It
I
really
love a
helps.
nice review.
Love a nice review. Don't say anything mean. We can't take it. I can't take
I
anymore.
can't.
We can't
My
take anymore.
self-esteem is already so low.
Got that email telling me I'm irrelevant. Come on now.
No,
At least she
fade
emailed me.
faded.
Faded and irrelevant. And
Yeah.
who would look at you? She said. The answer is my husband. He thinks I'm cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, everybody.
And Karen from My Favorite Murder.
Well, I didn't touch
Also,
her. Panicked.
well, there was a hovering hand, and she said they were friends. So
She didn't mean it. Okay, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye.